And I'll read the mission statement.
Go ahead.
Okay. Our mission: Helping Parents Heal is a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting bereaved parents to become shining light parents by providing support and resources to aid in the healing process. We go a step beyond other groups by allowing the open discussion of spiritual experiences and evidence for the afterlife in a non-dogmatic way. Affiliate groups welcome everyone, regardless of religious or non-religious background. Attendance today at this meeting is voluntary, and we are here for the benefit of learning from and sharing with other parents whose child has passed away. It is understood that our discussions are intended to be confidential and not designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. However, these Zoom meetings are helpful to parents all around the world, and they are posted on YouTube so that affiliate members who are not able to attend this meeting live can also watch. Helping Parents Heal offers a wide variety of speakers to allow parents to be informed about many possible ways to heal, to connect with their children, and to learn about the afterlife. The views expressed by our guests do not necessarily reflect those of Helping Parents Heal, and we ask that you take from their presentations whatever may benefit you personally. Welcome, everyone. It's wonderful to be here with everyone tonight, and thank you so much, Drew, for being here with us.
Yes, thank you, Drew. We're so excited. And last time I asked you if you wanted to introduce yourself because you do such an incredible job of it. But first of all, before you do that, I just want to say that Drew is so much fun to watch. And he is not the traditional medium, as you probably all know. This is something that came later in life. And it was as big a surprise to him as it was to, I guess, everyone else. But obviously, he doesn't seem like the traditional medium. He was in the army. He was then on Wall Street. He has this story behind him that is pretty amazing. So I would love for you to maybe introduce yourself, Drew, and then tell people about yourself. And then get started if you'd like to.
Sure. Thanks for having me. Okay. I really appreciate it. Can everyone hear me okay?
I think so.
So when you're talking, I'm like, who are we talking about? It's such an odd thing. So for me, I'm grateful to be here. It's always an honor and a privilege to share this space with people. You know, I do this day in, day out, and I take my work very seriously, but I don't take myself that seriously. So I know, you know, different people are at different phases of, you know, their process, whether it's transformation, healing, grief, whatever. For me, excuse me, I have this cough. I still haven't shook from last time, and I'm sorry I had to cancel a couple of weeks ago. For me, mediumship is nothing like I thought it would be. Like if I imagine a medium, I'm like, oh, they just talk to ghosts all day. You know, mediumship is not a ghost standing next to me like, you know, say December, say it. You know, like I wish it was like that because I could get anything you want, anytime you want from anyone you want. And I can tell you that, and you know, they don't have a physical body, so they don't have vocal cords. So that was the first thing that I was like, well, then how does this work? So I'm Irish and Italian. You can't get any more Catholic, but I'm not religious, really. Although I do say a rosary like 3 to 5 times a week, but it just gets me into like a meditative space. And I use prayer and meditation very often. Okay, so early on in my life, I didn't like being home. And so I sought escape. So since I was the age of probably like 13, I started partying and hanging out with the older kids and pretty much drinking and drugging until I eventually went into the Army after 9/11, went overseas, went to combat, came back, owned a very successful financial business. And then, you know, my mom got sick. It was a 2-year battle with cancer. And it was the first, I had a set of grandparents pass away, but this was like my mom. And this was the type of mom that all 3 of us kids thought we were the favorite. You know, she was just cool and, you know, like an amazing artist and just like just had these really cool qualities about her where she could just light up a room. So she was sick, and I was getting married, and we knew that we had to like kind of push the wedding up and all this stuff. And shortly after that, in a very short period of time, basically I got married, my mom passed away, and my wife and I got pregnant. We had a stillborn baby girl at 8 months and 1 week. So we had the name, the colors picked out, and all of a sudden she just didn't feel something, and we had to go wait 4 days in the hospital for it to be induced. And about 25, 26 days later, my brother-in-law took his own life in a very violent way. So it was just like boom, 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 boom. And I just remember, I was 32, I'm 45 now, and I just remember like life stopped. And even though I was going through the motions, and for me, I found that escapism was what I leaned towards. And it was like weird. Wasn't like I felt like I needed to be the rock for everybody. So I played that role. And eventually, probably about a year, within that year, it just became very noticeable. I remember we were going to therapy, my wife and I was going to fix my wife. And, we sat down, and I remember that, what really got me was I didn't realize how not well I was until this amazing therapist asked me, like, so what do you do for fun? I'll never forget that, because I was just stumped. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I work. What do you mean? Fun was for like people that didn't have anything to do, or I couldn't believe I couldn't answer it. And then when I did answer things like snowboarding, and she's like, do you drink? Or do you do this? Do you always party? There wasn't anything that I was really stone cold sober that I did that was fun. And so to me, my sobriety is actually synonymous with my spirituality. And about that same time, my wife and I split, and I kept going to therapy, and I felt, I started going to a 12-step program, and I just started meeting people that had changed their lives. And I'll never forget it. My sister was like, you want to talk to this psychic? She's really good. I'm like, not really. She's like, no, just talk to the psychic. And it was a psychic hotline. She had a fake name. And I don't know, it was like per minute you had to pay. And I was like, oh God. I'm like, all right. So I'm talking to her, and she was really good. And she, about 80% of everything she said was correct. And I remember all I could stare at was the 20% she wasn't. I just remember being like, yeah, but she didn't get this. She literally told me that I co-signed a car for an employee of mine as a favor. And she said that by April, he's going to default. And he did. She was just, I never told her anything. So anyway, the second time I talked to her, now I had all these questions. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So in very short order, she kept saying to me at the end of the night, like, listen, your spirit guys want to meet you. You're going to do this work. And I remember being like, what work are you talking about? Like, I never heard this referred to as work. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you got to have the wrong guy. I don't know what she was talking about. And she's like, well, your spirit guys want to meet you. And I am such a smart ass and such a cynic. I was like, well, where are they? I don't see them. Where are they? And I'm sitting in my house in New Jersey, and she's just like, are you sitting next to a fireplace with a brown dog? And I was like, yeah. It just freaked me out. She's like, well, just go meditate tonight. So literally, I Googled meditation, and it was like, surround yourself with white light, light a candle. I have any candles. So I smoked a cigarette. It was just like the craziest experience. I'll never forget it. But there was something in me that made me follow through with this meditative process. And, the experience that I had, I won't get too into it, was I sat quietly with my feet kind of off the floor. I was on a bar stool height kitchen counter. And I remember very vividly closing my eyes and then feeling like I couldn't open them. And even though my conscious mind was running, I was questioning everything, like, this can't really, I remember seeing a waterfall and a river flowing into the waterfall, and I just remember having this thought to this day, and it's about a decade ago. I just remember being like, well, that's not my mind making it up, because it wouldn't go that way. And right as I thought that, this man appeared across the river, and he kind of floated up to me, and I could feel the heat from a body in front of me. And I remember I opened my eyes, and I went, oh, and I just looked at my dog, Tyler. I'm like, all right, man, it's time for bed. And as I turned around, I saw this silhouette in the slider doors that I had in the back. So for the next 4 hours, I just sat there walking back and forth, and I just kept seeing faces. And I would open the door, and there'd be no feet. nobody there, and I'd shut it. But it wasn't like I thought it was. It wasn't like a ghost that was freaky or scary. The feeling I had was very peaceful. And I kept hearing the name Caleb. And it was like instantaneous thought exchange. And I literally thought I was having a nervous breakdown. So the next day, and I took pictures of it, I drew it. I go to my therapist. I'm like, listen, I think I need to be institutionalized. And I wasn't kidding. You know, I was about a year sober. And, you know, she was like, and part of my big issue was I was taking pain pills. I got hurt in Iraq and I was taking Vicodin like they were going out of style. And so I just didn't know, like, I'm like, could this have an impact on my brain? Like, and she's like, well, what are you hearing? And I'm like, well, I'm getting like voices, but they're not out loud. Like it's like thoughts in our mind. And she's like, what are you getting? I'm like, I'm getting like, you know, the name Esther and something about a ring. And she was just like, well, that's my grandmother and this is her ring. I'll never forget it. And I was like, really? And I almost wanted to be wrong, and stuff like that kept happening. And I would also, what I started to notice is the more I wanted it to work or I wanted to show somebody, the less it did what I wanted it to do. Like I couldn't just do spirit DJ stuff, like be like, who do you want to connect with? On occasion I could, or I can hold an object and tune in, but it was very elusive, if you will. So I went to multiple people, and I live in New Jersey, so I ended up going to the Journey Within Church for a little bit with Janet and Hovek. And then I ended up I didn't really feel like I belonged anywhere with this. And if any of you out there, like for me, I really feel like anything that tried to put me in a box, I resist. I didn't like being told what to do. I didn't want somebody to tell me this is what it is. I also had people tell me, no, it can't work like that. And I had a big kind of F you attitude, like, yeah, it does. I'm sorry, just because you're born like that. Maybe I was, but I numbed it. I don't know. But this is really happening. And I'm not really looking forward to it happening, but it's happening. And I had a company worth 7 figures. I didn't want to leave, but I did not have any drive to work anymore. So I pretty much lost everything traveling around the world for like 6 years. And I spent a lot of time in England at Arthur Findlay College, doing anything from blindfold tests to, I didn't even know, like, I remember they said, all mediums are psychic, not all psychics are medium. And I was like, what? Like, no, I'm not psychic. I don't want anything to do with that word. And I remember holding an object and tuning into it. And I thought that I was talking about somebody that was deceased, but it was all about this person's boyfriend living. And I was like, really? Like, it was so bizarre to me how this worked. And what I started to understand is that it's a merge or a blend of energy or of souls or of minds or of hearts. It's not, like I said, a man standing next to me, like, say December. It can seem like that in a really strong connection. But what I found is through a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation, and a lot of getting stuff wrong, you know, that it worked for me in a variety of ways, depending on the contact who was coming through and depending on what you needed to hear, right? So sometimes somebody would come through. I'll never forget this perfect example. I had 2 ladies come down from like Saratoga or something. And I remember they were sitting from me. I kept seeing in my mind's eye, like a little baseball bat floating into like a dollhouse garage. I just remember being like, oh, I didn't know what to say about it because it didn't come with like a context. So I know what I receive is never wrong, but how I perceive it or convey it can be. So finally I was like, what's with the bat in the garage? And I'm like, I'm trying to do this. And she's like, oh my God, we killed a bat in the garage this morning. Holy shit, how'd you get that? I'm like, oh, I didn't tell her like, oh, I saw this little bat. I could have said, you know, does somebody make dollhouses or does someone collect little baseball figures? And they would have been like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So like those kinds of things taught me that sometimes I have to get a no to get a yes. And that when I'm really linked in, there's more of a knowing. I don't understand it, but it's not a, hold on, let me ask. Oh, let me come back. Because I tried that for a long time. I remember some guy came in, he had like sheets of questions. Just got a few questions here. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, all right, well, if I'm psychic, this should just work. And he asked me, the first question was like, you know, how many lives have I lived? How many do I have to go? Do I have karmic debt? And I remember just being like, oh, no, shit. Like, I just didn't want anything to do with the word psychic because it was like, you know, I had people literally come and shy of this baby. You know, it was my husband cheating on me. And I'm like, if you have to come to me for that, I don't want anything to do with that. So anyway, with this one guy, I just remember said, just read me the first 5. So he did. And I said, let me ask you something. If I answered 6,000 lives or 432 lives? How does that help you? You know, and he started laughing. He's like, it doesn't. I'm like, yeah, and he was cool about it. And I remember we had this really long conversation, and it just made me realize that if it doesn't help or it doesn't heal, it doesn't really come naturally and organically. I was being Irish and Italian Catholic. I was looking for all the bad ones. I remember asking every spirit, every time I felt the presence of spirit, I'd be like, are you good or are you bad? And like someone told me, if you don't get an answer, they're bad. I never got an answer. Like, oh, I got the bad, you know, and then I would get all freaked out. So what I started to recognize is that when I perceived them through a fear lens, it was scary. When I had a medium come to my house and she was like, I said, like, I think the house is haunted. I opened up a portal. Like, I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was drinking holy water. I'm not kidding you. Out of like a Poland Springs bottle, drinking it. I was like smoking sage. Like, I just didn't know what the hell happened, because it, you know, very rarely had I had events except for a few when I really looked at it. So anyway, this medium comes to my house, started talking. She sat down. She's like, you know, do you feel that? And it was like after 5 or 10 minutes, I remember just sitting there being like, yeah, what'd you do? She's like, you're calm. I'm like, yeah, but what'd you do? She's like, I got you calm. And she's like, you know, if you're afraid, it'll be scary. If you're calm, it'll be peaceful. I've never had any kind of issue. And I've gone to haunted houses and like all this stuff. And it's usually like grandpa or husband. Now, I don't dismiss anybody's experiences. I don't. But I also am careful how I work and what I feel like my protection isn't in a white bubble in my mind. It's how I live. You know, when people aren't looking, do I put the shopping cart away or like whatever it is, like how I live is really what I feel is important. And it doesn't mean that I don't meditate, I don't pray, and I don't surround myself with things that make me feel safe. But I just didn't want to be so fearful that like, oh my God, I forgot to sage today. Oh, I'm going to have attachments. I can't tell you how many people that I've had come to me with the most bizarre stories that they believe. And no matter what anybody says, they will never not believe that. There was a young girl that came in with a little baby that she was holding in Saratoga Springs when I lived up there. And she just kept talking about how a psychic in Vegas told her that her mother wouldn't cross over and was stuck in her, attached to her aura, and was like draining or feeding on her energy. And now everything that I said to this woman, she just wouldn't believe it. I need you to remove this curse. And it makes me sad. It gets me really frustrated because we are sometimes a big product of our beliefs. So for me, you know, when this started happening, I just kept trying to go over people for answers and I kept getting shunned away. I didn't fit into this category. I wasn't going to be part of this religion. I wasn't going to be, you know, groups of mediums, believe it or not, it can be kind of cutthroat. And also, if you don't do it the way that everyone else wants to do it, you know, it's like you're not really accepted. And I felt that in a big way. I felt more at home overseas than I did here. I studied trance. I spent weeks in Scotland. I spent 3 to 5 weeks at a time in England, and I would go over there 5 or 6 times a year. You know, and I had the time and the freedom to do it. I went to Norway, worked at a healing center, got certified. I used to make fun of Reiki, and now I'm like a certified Reiki Master and teacher. And I see it open up more people spiritually than sometimes anything else. So there's a lot that there's so much more that I don't know than I do. And I'm very skeptical of the people that pretend to know stuff that they don't. Because if it doesn't help or it doesn't heal, it puts me in a special position where I have like a bat phone to God, or like, you know, only Drew knows. That's where I feel like mediumship and psychics go wrong. Because people put us on a pedestal. And the reality is, I don't get shortcuts. I curse like a truck driver. You know, I don't do everything right. I have relationship issues. I'm going to custody court twice in July. You know, I have a 4-year-old. So my life is not perfect. These are simply abilities that tend to help other people. And when they do, that's when they become gifts. They don't really work for me. Yeah, I can learn how to like understand, is this right for me? Is it not? But it's not like I walk around going, hey, spirit guide, what do you think? You know, when they want to give me guidance, I get it. And I get it in a very big way. One thing, and before I get going, I just want to share one thing, and I'll take a couple questions. So even my last name is not Cali. My last name is Polifrone, right? So when I owned this business, I didn't want to have, first of all, you can't spell that. Nobody can, okay? I can barely pronounce it. And it wasn't that I was ashamed of my name or anything. It's just that my father was a federal agent and he happened to be running for county sheriff. And I owned a financial business that was tied to US Bank and Bank of America. And I didn't want to like all of a sudden have some website or whatever. So for like one of the first experiences that I had was a very large Native American man with a headdress with a bear on his head. And I just remember his name was Great Bear. The ironic thing is, my whole time my mind's going, this is just total bullshit. Sorry, I curse, I know. But I was just like, this is just not real. And then I just remember feeling like I knew this man. Like it was almost like this is like my family. I never met him. So I didn't see him again for a long time, maybe a year and a half. And I had a very large opportunity at a local hospital, but they needed, in order for me to be considered a vendor to be booked for this hospital's large party or whatever it was, they needed me to have a website. So it was so weird. So I prayed on it for like 2 weeks. I just sat in that power and just was like, please guide me. Like, what do I do? Do I start an LLC? Do I drop this? Do I, how do I manage this? How do I bounce this? So I woke up in the middle of the night at like 2 o'clock in the morning and I kept hearing, going back to Cali. And I remember seeing by me, they have these Mac Cali buildings with a C. So I got up and I remember it was like 2:30 in the morning and I Googled Cali, C-A-L-I, and it was the constellation previously known as Great Bear. So I was like, oh, no way. So I typed in drewcali.com and it wasn't taken. And I was like, that's us, and it felt right. It felt better. And it's kind of Italian. So it works. But, my experiences, every book that I read, hundreds of books in the beginning, most of my experiences proved other people's experiences wrong for me, including spirit guides. Like I can feel the presence and the power, but I just feel like they will show you who you're comfortable with. If I'm Catholic, I'm going to get Mother Mary, I'm going to get Jesus, get Archangel Michael, but I always found it like a little bit ridiculous. And I spent about $5,000 on a credit card the first like 6 months that I was doing this, calling psychics and just like asking them questions and seeing what's legit, what's not. And everything from what's your birthday, and I could hear them typing, and then they tell you you're Sagittarius, to people that would get a little bit really right and then make it into like, you're a light worker and the grid is speaking to you, and stuff that I just didn't know what to do with. So it taught me about what I didn't want to be. And I just still had no identity or understanding of what I wanted. What I did see is I went to, right before this happened, ironically, my mom took me to, my aunt, because our mom had passed, lost a baby, my brother-in-law passed, took us to a John Edward event. And I remember seeing James Van Praagh and John Edward on TV, and I was always intrigued. And I knew that they were legit, in my opinion. And one thing I liked about John Edward is, first of all, he's Irish-Italian. His father's a cop. He's not too far from me. He was a pretty straight up guy, but he didn't edit. It wasn't like every 30-second, oh my God moment. It was like he would get some things wouldn't be like spot on. But I remember that night, he read for me, my sister, my brother, my aunt for like 30 minutes. People were actually annoyed because there were like 500 people there. And I just remember when I walked out of there, I didn't remember the emotions because I was so overwhelmed that this was happening. What I remembered was the evidence, stuff that he couldn't have possibly known. I wasn't registered on a ticket. There's just stuff that he could not have known that he got right. And there's at least 5 or 6 things that I could say about 2 or 3 different people that he got spot on, including calling my Aunt D, Aunt D, and that's not even her real name. So I just remembered that, and I was seeking that. And it took me a while to kind of understand that I can't do it the way that I want to do it. I have to be really patient with it. And what it's brought me to is this just really beautiful way of being able to share space with people and allowing it to unfold naturally and organically. And in a group, especially, for me, it's just really important that the spirits that come through and lead the way allow it to be a beautiful, unpredictable experience. And I found that over and over, the unexpected is where the magic is, right? I had a family come in today and they've had like 3 readings in the last like 6 months or something like that. And I just remember feeling like, I know that your dad passed, and I know he's really tall, and I know that he was an ironworker, he was in union. Yeah. And I didn't get anything. And then I was like, so I knew a little bit about everybody. So it was almost like, look, you already believe. Yeah. So it was more about like guidance and evidence. So I found, and I still find, it's not about the wants, it's about the needs. And sometimes your wants can feel like needs to you, but to me, there'll be an energetic fence and it starts turning static on the channel. Like my first job is to turn on the radio, make sure the antenna is working. Am I getting something? And then try to tune into like an AM station. And then I kind of dial into that. You know, and I've had the most incredible journey so far. And, you know, I still don't got this. You know, like I think anybody that kind of thinks that, it kind of worries me. And I started teaching these butterfly series courses for people that wanted to discover the psychic self, because in my opinion, it's not mediums are born. Everybody has these abilities. I just don't believe, I do believe that not everyone's supposed to do this work. It's got to be like a calling. But I do believe everybody that's come through my series, people that didn't think they could do it, were able to get 3 to 5 things about somebody that was deceased or alive that wasn't in the room that they couldn't have possibly known. After a little bit of like technique and kind of relaxed and energy, being in a safe, sacred space and being willing to get a no allowed people to see that we all have access to the same things. You know, we just have different callings in this life, maybe, you know? So there's so much that I could talk about. And the one thing I will say is that I love the saying, mediumship is the neon sign in the shop, in the spiritual shop. It is not the end all be all. And I find that people that don't want to participate in their own healing and transformation are the ones that are looking, or people that are looking for kind of like shortcuts, or that's not, I'm a little bit different, I'm unique, I can go this way, I can go that way. Slow and steady is sustainable, you know, and it's the same thing, whether it's healing, whether it's letting go of grief, things like that. And I deal with people that have losses every day, from, you know, double suicides over a 3-day period, father and son, to like, you know, name it. 2 of my best buddies, and their mom was on the first one that I did here, died a week apart, like 7 years ago from overdoses. You know, but the most amazing thing is you guys, because I find the resilience and I find the bond and I find the camaraderie amongst the people that I meet actually really, it kind of keeps me doing the work. You know, it really does, because most of it's thankless. Most of it, people walk out, I don't see them again. And I don't do like, I'm going to coach you every week kind of thing. I feel like that's dangerous. You have counselors, you have therapists. You know, if people want to take classes, do meditations, that's different. But readings, they can't happen all the time. They just can't. You know, if that was the case, I would do it all the time for people, but it's just not like that. You know, so the journey from just some dude to just some dude who can, for some reason, connect with people on the other side, I try to keep it really grounded, and I try to feel everything, right? So before I start, to feel is to know, you know? And I thought, so many people come to me, I don't know, I think I'm just an empath. You can't be an empath and not be an intuitive. You can't be an intuitive and not be a psychic. You can't. Mediumship is just psychically connecting with non-physical beings, where psychic is connecting with physical beings. That's it. They use that language. So when I would get visuals, a picture can say 1,000 words, right? So it can get really confusing. Why do I see an apple? Now you have to tell me a story. I wanted to strive for, you know, do you understand that you grew up on Apple Street? Or do you understand there was an apple orchard? You know, like I wanted the context surrounding it, and I strive for that. And I would rather be real than be right. So it kind of keeps me locked in, because there is no formula for me. You know, and every person has a different need and a different quality and a different way of connecting. So I don't want to go on too much longer. If anyone has any questions, please ask, and I will do some readings here. But ask me any questions you have, and I'd love to answer.
Okay, we have one question, but I want to tell you that I think that most people are excited about hearing the reading. So let's just ask the question, if that's okay. And, you know, first of all, I just want to say you are so down to earth, so modest, and so fun to listen to. And everyone in the chat box is talking about how fun they say they could listen to you for hours, which is exactly the same way that I feel. His personality is wonderful. Yes, very interesting. I love the insight on how this came to him, et cetera, et cetera. It really is such a great thing to be able to have people understand that you don't have to have a crystal ball and be born with this and a black cat and sit, you know, in a, I don't know. There are people from all different walks of life who have this come to them, and you weren't able to do anything else. You had to do this. You were forced. But Yvette is asking how long it took during that journey for you to come to the realization that you actually could do this. From the time that you saw that person initially who was telling you these things, you went home to meditate.
It was like 36 hours. Like every time I heard water, I kept going, you know, I kept hearing, this is Jonathan, you got to call Jason. And I was like, what? And I was saying out loud, like, no, I don't, you know? So yeah, it was right away. And I didn't know that it would end up doing this. I thought maybe it was could have happened a few times and go away. And I kept waiting for it to not work. And then it just kind of kept working. And then it was very humbling. It's the most humbling thing I've ever done, because no matter how good I want to be, it's not up to me.
And there's another, this is poignant, and I would like to ask just this question too. Megan is saying, how do babies speak in a
It's a really good question. So the short of it is they really don't, but the feeling and the understanding or the concepts or even visualizations I can get from children can be there. But I have a lot of people that have lost children very young, or even if it was years ago, they had like a brother that might have passed or something like that. And they're like, well, how could they remember anything? A lot of times they'll come through with other people. Usually get multiple people, and they kind of tell the story by the presentation, like the way that they come through, you know, and also I'll get a lot of, I'll know that somebody had a stillbirth or two babies that didn't come to fruition because I'll feel grandma rocking like a little soul. So it's a very unusual thing, but it's, you know, this is a validation process, especially in a big group, because they're trying to get us. My first job is to get the right person to the right person for the right reason. Because if it ends up with the wrong person, where people, like, I can't make a John a Steve, you know, or a nephew a Cat, you know, and people tend to do that. So with children especially, I find that they might be referenced if it gets them to the right person, but there's other communicators. There's a very deep intelligence in the spirit world. Because I used to ask that too. And I remember a woman came to me and she said, she specifically, and I wish she didn't, but she was like, I had this, it was a 2-year-old and passed like this, and I want to connect with him. And although I could say what he looked like, how he passed, and like the month he might have been born or something like that, I couldn't get anything else. And so I try not to let people run it. I try to let spirit run it, and it works itself out. I hope that helps. It's a good question.
Perfect. Yes, it is a good question. So why don't we go ahead and get started? We actually have 3 people who are going to be helping you today. Myself, Irene, and Kathy, to find people in the audience. So we're all co-hosts. You are also a co-host. If you would like to take control, you're welcome to, but meaning unmuting the people and doing things like that, but we'll help you do it. Maybe you could set the ground rules so that people understand how this happens. Drew, would you like to just kind of explain, or do you want me to?
The biggest thing for me is, oh, my mouse is going crazy. Hold on a sec. The biggest thing for me is everybody knows a Joe. So with a couple hundred people, I'm like, who knows a Joe that passed? That shouldn't change the reading, right? Sometimes I get a name and it's for me because it will actually tell, you know, you can all think of one person and it'll highlight something very specific. So they use my data bank is one thing I want you to know. So it may sound similar to you, and I might have 2 or 3 people with their hand raised. Usually I know based on the voice or kind of the energy of the person that I want to go with that person. Sometimes I'm wrong. My GPS can be a little bit off, but for the most part it is. So if I'm working with somebody and you still think it's for you, consider it like a hello from heaven. We call them like postcards maybe. I get that a lot, but usually I'll know. And I get people that kind of get disenchanted or they get frustrated because they feel like it's for them. And I understand that. So just kind of like, let it go with the flow. I can tell you this in groups, and I've done more groups than I can count. And I know that when somebody is sitting there, if this is real, get me Stephen, give me the number 7, this is real. That usually keeps people away from getting a reading. It just does. I don't know. It's like an energetic fence because it's got to be about love and respect, not about demand. So that's all I would say is just, and if other people are getting a reading, send your love to them and support them, just like you'd want them to do for you. It's a really important. I can feel the energy signature of a group. And if a bunch of people are like having 3 conversations until it's their turn, or it's like, I'm not getting anything, that takes away from the group energy. So just try to be present for everybody and see what happens, and know that, it's not necessarily about getting to everybody. It's about getting meaningful messages and validations to someone that needs it. And there's always something in there for everyone. There's always something. I've never met anybody that's stuck in between or not in a good place, ever. So that's all I would say.
And so what we're going to do, if you do identify with it, write it down in the chat box. We will be watching the chat box, seeing who the people are who identify with it, maybe giving Drew your names. If there are too many people, we'll try to narrow it down before we unmute someone. And again, remember that these messages are meant for everyone. These kids are coming together to make sure that the messages that you guys need the most are coming through tonight. So anyway, thanks, Drew.
And thank you for having me, Elizabeth, again. And Irene, thank you. So I just want to start, and you have to forgive me for the cough. I know that it can be loud in the headphones. I'm very aware of a younger male here. And I know that this was somebody that took their own life. And I also know that I want to go with, I just keep getting the name Kevin surrounding that. So just with those 3 things, does someone have a Kevin, younger male that would have taken their own life? And it doesn't have to be family, but it needs to be connected to you. And what I would say is, look, if your father would be in spirit as well. Not the young male's father, your father. So if your brother's name or your husband's name's Kevin, or your father's name's Kevin, but you have a younger male who would have taken their own life, and your father, that might be. And if you do feel it's for you, just raise your hand, or I guess with this many people, they probably have to go into participants, right? And show the little.
Just in the chat is fine. We have not Kevin, but all else. Let's see. We have not Kevin, but the rest. Everything but Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin.
And don't tell me, like someone put Jacob in there. Don't tell me anything and try to make it what it's not. Let me give you the details.
Oh, okay. We do have Kathy, who has a brother, Kevin, father in spirit, and younger male passed by suicide.
Okay. Who's this?
Kathy. So
hey, Kathy.
Kathy.
I'm sorry. I'm hosting. I don't want.
That's okay. So Kathy, would you also understand that, would this be your son or your nephew?
My son.
Okay. Do you understand also that, I don't know why you keep showing me this. So did he have like unusual haircuts? And if not, just say no, he's not going to go away. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm getting.
He had a couple I didn't like, but they weren't unusual.
Okay. So I just keep getting like, I don't know, like I want to keep the short and then long. So I don't know if he's trying to show me this, like, I don't even know how to describe it. And also, do you understand that there were drugs involved, or he had a drug issue going back and forth?
Not with him, no.
Okay. So with him, do you understand that there was something that was very present that like he couldn't accept? And if no, just say no, because I know what I'm getting. I just don't know how to word it.
I don't know. I think I'm
okay. So I want to make sure I'm with you. So, because it all sounds right, but do you understand that Dad would have passed rather quickly?
Yes.
Okay. And if it wasn't heart attack or heart failure, there was some sort of condition up here in the heart, right? Or chest?
Yes, yes.
Do you understand that your dad would have had the blue-green eyes?
Very blue eyes.
Okay. And do you understand why? So what's the name, Kevin?
That's my brother.
Okay. So do you understand why the younger male be showing me the 1-5, like the 15?
He was 15 when he passed.
Okay. Thank you. And do you also understand that so it's funny. He just slowed down because he's like, all right, now she knows it's me. So, because he's got quiet, he's like, oh yeah, we got it. I don't know. So you must have a bunch of animals that pass, correct?
I have a couple.
Are there two cats and a dog?
There's 1 cat and 2 dogs.
Okay, fair enough. Fine. So do you understand the reference? I don't know if he's trying to get me an animal's name, but he keeps talking about like Simple Simon. Do you understand this? I know it's like a kid's game or a store actually. He keeps showing me it. You don't understand that?
I know we used to play it. We had the little
You did?
light
Okay.
up game. Yeah.
And who dances in the family?
Oh God, everybody on my mother's side.
Okay, but really well, correct?
Yeah, I mean, not professional dancers,
right?
But yeah.
But I just am really aware of this creative, I don't know, dance. I just really aware. I just want to stay with him for a second. And do you also understand why he keeps showing me the J like Jack?
That's his brother, Jack. Actually, the haircut is Jack always tells me he's going to get his hair shaved
all the way around the back. Yeah. Okay,
and perfect. I keep telling him, no, he's not allowed to do that.
Perfect. And did people used to make fun of him, or did he make fun of other people for having a big melon?
Oh, that's a running joke in my family about a couple of people in the family.
Right. And I don't know, he keeps giving me this feeling like, I know you must have done your work, because he keeps showing like highlights and colors within your energy right now are changing. So I know you must have done your work, but he also keeps showing me like, I don't know if this is what. So I'm getting this audio, it's almost like underwater. So do you understand, say yes or no to this. Do you understand the name Shane?
Sean.
Is that him?
Sean, no, Sean is his cousin.
Okay. And is he living or passed?
He's living.
Okay, but were they tight?
Yes.
Okay. He just needs you to know that this is him and he's fine. I know that you must have gotten messages before.
Yes.
Because he's trying to get other people to come.
Yes.
Like, and do you understand Lynn or Linda?
Yes.
Lindsay? Who's
Linda
that?
is my brother Kevin's wife.
Perfect. Okay.
He's very close with them.
And she has 2 kids?
She has 4.
Are there 2 boys?
Yes.
Okay. Her father's passed?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just need to say that like they're kind of coming into the room. All right. And do you also understand like the Brandon name? Yeah.
I do not.
So I can't make it into a Bob, but it's like, what's that?
My brother is Brian, but I don't know if that's too.
Maybe, maybe, I don't know. I now that you said it, like, I want to say yes. I don't know if I can take credit for it yet. So your mom passed too?
Yes.
Okay. And you have a sister as well?
I do.
So whole family's here. It's a party. Mom keeps making me feel a lot of love.
Yes.
A lot of love. And there's a softness when she comes in here.
And she's the dancer.
Beautiful. And do you understand that she had a very specific ring that you got? Or that was passed down that was like her mom's?
No, I can't take that.
Okay, so do you understand, did she have like a giant rock for a wedding ring?
No, she didn't, no. But she had this one that was fake that when we were kids, we always...
Okay, fine. I just keep getting this, it's like almost gaudy.
Yes, it was totally gaudy.
And it's almost like a swirl with like it was just like this. I'm like, I don't know who this is, but it can't be this generation. And so your mom's she's funny. She's like, she can mix it up with anybody, but she loved the girls. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So I don't know if it's her girls or the girls. I love the girls. And also she had the sweet tooth.
Yes.
I get like candy canes or those little red and white. I don't know why. I keep getting like mints. And I just, before you say anything, I know that, is she Elaine or Elizabeth?
Evelyn.
Do you understand?
Evelyn.
That's her.
Evelyn.
Thank you. She's really not going away now.
Yeah.
She's like excited. She's like, yeah, I mean, do you also understand that she had like at one point curly hair?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because she keeps referencing like your hair, her hair, and she tried different things. Like it was important to her. I don't know why. She just keeps showing me this. And so did you take a development course for psychic or mediumship?
Yes.
Okay. Because she's just really happy about this. And like, there's much more that you can do with that.
Yes.
Right. And
yes.
She needs you to just trust and not make it so much about what you're getting, but remember how simple we complicate the crap out of this process. Because if you told me, if I had to learn how to do it this way, I have no idea. How do you get a name? I don't know. You know, I'm not even hearing it, I'm feeling it. So she just keeps making this point that, so I know that this is a big thing for a lot of people, like follow the yellow brick road. That's what she keeps telling me. She keeps telling me follow the yellow brick road. It's a big thing, right?
Wizard of Oz is big with signs for me. Yes, thank you.
And I'm trying one more thing. I'm very surprised. Do you understand the Mindy?
Mindy?
Yeah.
I don't.
So, because I wasn't sure if it's Mindy or Minty. Do you understand who is it you that loves peppermint patties? If not, I'm okay being wrong.
My husband does. My husband does.
All right.
I don't.
And his mom passed.
No, his mom is here, but his stepmom passed.
Okay, because it's like your mom is trying to bring this other woman here. And do you understand, like, was stepmom funny? That's probably a no.
Funny sometimes.
No, was she goofy? Listen, no. I know this is never a judgment, but the way that I'm getting this, there's like a very, I don't know if it's quirky. I don't know what the word is, but the feeling I get as she comes in here, it's like she had her own way of doing things. This is how I get it. And also there's 2 children that didn't make it, correct?
For my stepmother?
For you.
Oh, for me, no, there's 2 children on the other side. There's 2 children who passed.
Okay, thank you. So do you understand? Now we said the name Brian. You said the name Brian, right?
Yes.
You don't understand the Ryan?
I do not understand Ryan.
Okay. Hold on, you got really, so I'm gonna go for this one more time, and I don't really ask for things. I just like let them give me what they're giving me. I don't know if I'm moving yet, but do you understand the Cole or Colin?
Connor is my older son that's on the other side.
Okay, thank you. And did he have like dirty blonde hair?
He had, well, his hair changed colors. He had, it was brown, but it was blonde when he was younger. It was like a light brown, almost blonde.
And so now one took their own life, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand the other one being more reckless?
Yes.
It's like an accident or something?
Yes.
Okay. And is this a car?
No.
Okay, don't say anything. But I keep getting question marks that aren't question marks. So I don't know if people questioned it, but I keep getting like, this is accident. But he keeps showing me fast cars. He just keeps showing me fast cars.
Oh, well, he definitely did drive too fast. But
okay, fine. And you know, he like quotes movies. Like The Need for Speed. Like, and there's kind of a, it's a little dry humor.
Very much him.
Yeah. I don't know why he keeps showing me Tom Cruise movies. Hold on a sec. And he had the blue eyes?
No, they were more green, kind of a hazel.
I usually don't get that. Okay. It's so funny because he keeps making me feel like, hey, Ma, like again. So he's like, it's like you're getting uncomfortable because you're taking all this time up.
I am. I'm horribly
uncomfortable. And he's like, this is awesome.
I keep telling them, boys, pull somebody else in.
But he keeps making me feel that. And just so everyone knows, like I don't know anybody's people. I will say that he just wanted to give this back to you because you're paying it forward.
Oh.
So they're giving it to you like that. Okay. One sec. So do you understand that Mom smoked and then had to quit or something?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And that's why she kept showing me these candies. But I feel like she's sneaking cigarettes right now. That's how I feel. So
it would make sense, yeah.
And I don't know, this may be totally wrong. Did she smoke Chesterfields?
No.
Okay. Like if you told me what a Chesterfield was, I know what it is, but if you told me what they look like, I wouldn't know. So I just keep hearing this, and she doesn't miss anything. She just keeps giving me that. Not like she doesn't miss you guys, but she doesn't miss a thing that's happening.
Right.
And you understand the highlights in April?
Yes. Yeah, that's my sister's birthday.
Okay. So again, she doesn't miss anything. Okay. One more thing. So do you have like a Labradoodle?
I have a Newfoundland and like a sheepdog.
Does it have like kind of curly hair around the face or eyes or something?
My other dog does. My older dog. All in.
I just keep getting like there's like she's teasing about grooming. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's not really fur. It's like hair.
Yes. Yeah.
Just know that they love you and they support you, and she loves what you're doing, and you have no idea what the ripple effect is.
Oh, thank you very much. I do want to let you know, Drew, the 3 people you first brought in, my dad, my brother Kevin, and Sean, all cops. So I think they were relating.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thank you. All right, let's see. Sorry, if I'm looking down, it's just I'm doodling to get out my logical mind. I have a younger girl, but I also have so I'm not sure how this is going to go. So either you have a sister and a daughter who passed, or there's a girl here that's trying to, it's a blonde girl, or she's trying to reach out and say that, Amy, you understand this? All right. So don't say anything to me, because if it's, I need to make sure from their side that they're giving me truth, and then I'm linked in. Otherwise it can go sideways and then you start doubting. Okay. So just take a breath. Can you unmute?
Yes, I will unmute her. Just one second. Here we go.
How are you, Amy?
Hey, Drew. I watch you on Thursday's live calls. Cool.
Oh, the press pause. Yeah. Thank you. So Amy, you understand. So your sister passed.
Yes.
Okay. And this is a younger sister?
Yes.
Okay. And you also understand if it's not your daughter, it's her daughter, but I feel like it's your daughter.
No, it's my daughter. It's my daughter.
And you would understand the blondish hair?
Absolutely.
Okay. And I just feel that So do you understand? Hang on. Is there a girl and a boy living still for you, kids?
I have one boy, one son living, and
okay. I kept getting one boy, two girls. So I don't know why. Just give me a sec. I might just be wrong, unless you had one didn't come.
No, no.
So
she has a granddaughter. My sister has a granddaughter here. She's not that came after her.
So is she like the Kelly or the Kaylee?
Cali is my daughter.
Oh yes. Okay, cool. Excellent. They're really working good tonight.
They work great together. I promise you.
Also, so who's the barber? Did you used to cut her hair or something? What is this?
Yeah. Oh, Barbara is my niece. She and my daughter Callie were the closest of all my nieces and nephews.
Got it. So they got me to that name by showing me the barber with the haircut.
Oh.
But, I just feel like they're doing kid stuff. They're having fun. Also, so your dad passed, correct?
Yes.
And he was a big Western guy. He liked the Westerns.
Oh no, that's Callie's other grandfather, my ex-husband's dad.
But he loves like the black and white Bonanza or whatever the hell this is.
Oh yeah, that's her other father.
All right. So is he the one who had a heart attack? And before you say yes, do you understand that he was sick and then his heart gave out?
Yes.
Okay. Because and he was the one in the war?
Yes, Korean.
Okay, got it. You just keep showing me the flag with the blue hat. So
wow.
Was it your dad, Army, him Navy or something?
My dad was a Navy.
And see the Bob or Robert?
Billy.
Perfect, close enough. Sorry. And are you a teacher?
My sister was.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Sorry, thanks for helping me out. See, the context can be a little bit wrong, but what I'm getting isn't. So she just keeps making me feel like she's rounding up the kids. And there's like an innocence about it with her. Do you understand that with her?
Absolutely.
There's like a very light, just light and flowy and like,
she's
almost to where you could look at it almost as naive because she's just like kind of like, let's just like, she doesn't overthink it.
No. That's me.
So do you also understand that there is like breast cancer in the family, or is this her?
That's her. That's what she passed from here.
Okay. But this was a back and forth thing for like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes. 5 years.
And she just makes me feel like there were 3 battles or 3 bouts.
There were 3 rounds.
That she's funny. She's like, a mastectomy wasn't enough. Is that true? She had to go through that?
She didn't even have it. They just said it wouldn't have made a difference.
Got it. Oh, that makes sense then. Okay. Because she just keeps making me feel like she knew. She just knew. And I don't know why. Did it spread to her bones or something? Yes. She keeps making me feel like my wrist, my elbows hurt.
Yeah,
she was going and it's just funny. She keeps making me that you're a survivor. She keeps giving me that you're the survivor. You're the survivor. Who's Pat?
Oh, that's my ex-husband. That's Callie's dad.
Okay. He passed?
No, he's still here.
I don't mean to put him in the spirit world. I'm just aware of him. Like that. It's like she just keeps making me feel like you've been through a lot, and that just trust her. You've been through enough. Like the rug won't keep being yanked the same way it's been. So I know too. Also, I know you do your work, but do you also understand that you're getting more involved?
Yeah.
Either counseling or coaching or something. Do you understand this?
I'm in a development circle and
excellent
stuff.
And I just feel like you have all the tools. And she's helping you.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So what did you do last Tuesday? Why did you keep talking about last Tuesday?
Oh, yesterday was Tuesday and it was her birthday. My sister's birthday.
Okay. Excellent.
Happy birthday.
So yeah, she keeps throwing like a beach ball up, but it's an above ground pool. It's almost like a weird memory. Like I'm getting a version of the beach and a version of a memory.
Oh, wow.
But she just wants you to be happy. She just wants you to be happy. And you need to know that they got her. They got her. So is it Grandma Ellen?
My grandmother?
Yeah, I just keep getting like, I want to talk about Grandma Ellen or something.
Oh.
Who is talking?
Well, no, my mom's middle name is Eleanor. My mom's mom is in spirit too, but it's not Ellen.
Okay, Eleanor's close. So Eleanor, your mom's living?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my mom's middle name.
But it's someone else's name before her, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like
her
her grandmother.
Her aunt,
okay.
her dad's sister.
Got it. And there's like 2 Johns or Johnny. Do you understand this?
Don't know a John.
If you don't, say no. Okay.
No.
So do you understand the Jimmy?
There were other Jennies on my mom's side.
Fair enough. So when someone gives me multiple, they're trying to say like the Jimmys are here kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or Joe, I'm sorry, I get it wrong. Whatever. It's like they keep us really humble, at least in my opinion, because I can get like Gertrude, but I can't get Joe. I get John. If it's Jack, I get Joe. If it's Joe, I get Jim. She's just really excited. And also, so is it your birthday in August?
Yes.
Excellent. She keeps showing me like the big, I don't even know if this is, are you Leo?
Yes.
She keeps showing me the lion. And is it on the 5th?
The 10th.
Okay. So what? So she keeps showing me the number 5. Was it 5 years ago that she passed, or were you her daughter?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I thought it was a date. She just keeps saying like they don't miss anything, they don't miss anything. And there also has to be like Maureen or Margaret, but it's like this. I keep getting Maureen. I keep getting this. And it's okay if you don't get it, but I just have to I have to work this out. Otherwise it'll ping pong around this brain. I also, she just needs you to know that she's working with all the kids over there. Like she's totally happy. And also, so it's like your daughter's standing behind her. And I just feel like, it's like she's a little shy.
Oh, she's not shy. She's
wait, hang on. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything. Because because there's always a reason the way that they present themselves to me. And I want them to validate themselves. Because as soon as you give me something, my brain will want to come to conclusions. So and I know it's hard to not say anything. So your daughter just keeps making me feel like she has done this multiple times. Absolutely. And that it's like, she's not taking this show. And also like you get whatever this circle or whatever it is, it's like you get to hear from her all the time. But also that, do you understand the bracelet that you have?
Yep.
You understand this? Okay. And I don't know if there's like one for your sister and one for her or what, but I get the bracelet and then I get butterflies. I keep getting butterflies.
We got a butterfly on her birthday yesterday. That's my sister.
Perfect. And do you understand? I get 2 different names. I get, like, I know your name's Amy. Is that what it is? It says it.
Yes.
So do you understand, like, I almost want to say Amber, but I keep getting this offshoot of, I only met one Amber in my life, so I don't know if they're trying to show me something. Don't say, don't. Hang on. Do you understand Julie? Do you understand this?
Julie.
Yeah, it's like I keep getting a female's name with a J, like Joni, Julie.
I have a sister-in-law, Julie.
Living?
Yes. On her dad's side. Well, an ex-sister-in-law on her dad's side. That's the only Julie I know.
Maybe. I can't, it doesn't feel right to me, so I'm missing something. But I just need you to know that you're doing all the right things. And just you thinking of her yesterday was just, it meant so much to her. And I know too that, so I don't know what this is. Do you have like a painting or a drawing of a butterfly?
There's a little butterfly. I took some pictures of the butterfly the other day that was in my yard.
Is it yellow and black?
Yeah, that was the one yesterday.
Okay. Perfect. So I just need you to know that, you can't Google that, right?
No, it was yellow and black.
It's important that we understand that they're with us.
Oh,
and
wow.
They experience life with us in a 360-degree way. And they actually have their home we're visiting, right? So to them, I always say this, but to them, you'll be home tomorrow after school. To us, it's a lifetime away. So people are like, do they miss us? Kind of, but they understand that they're where they're supposed to be, where we're supposed to be, and they're much more connected to us than we think. Also, I just feel like the meditation really helps you.
I'm learning how to.
Meditation really helps you, and it'll help you. It'll help you understand the connection process better. And so, hold on. Okay, so she showed me pink in October, which is the breast cancer.
Oh, but my sister, that's my daughter's birthday too in October.
Thank you. I was going to say that they wouldn't show it to me because I already got the breast cancer, so it had to be something else. And also, did you put like a pink bow around a tree?
No,
like as a memorial, like a string around a tree. Just remember I said that. I keep seeing this like almost like someone's bringing flowers to a spot. I don't know how to explain it. And do you understand why your daughter would show me the number 20 or 21? And if you're not, say no.
Oh, only, 2020. That's when she passed. I don't know. 20.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got
that's
it.
the one.
I got to tell you, you're doing really fantastic. You are. Do you know that?
I feel very connected to both of them. They're a powerhouse.
But so are you. And sometimes their purpose in this grand divine design is to show us that, people always ask me like, well, if we choose our lives and we have these soul agreements, which I believe we do. And there's a lot of stuff that I can't prove that I don't talk about, but that I will, that we have the choice to become more connected or disconnected. And sometimes you have to go through the disconnected part in order to seek, because in the seeking is where we find spirituality, right? It's not like really a destination. I believe that spirituality is rooted in our humanness. It's not supposed to be where we rise above it and do this perfectly. And I just feel like there's this amazing, this brilliant light within you that's actually getting brighter and you're getting stronger. And the thing is, people pointed out to you, you don't really have to take credit for it. And I just need to acknowledge that because I just keep hearing like applause on the other side. Okay. So just know that you're doing a really, really good job, and that survivor in you can occasionally have a party, because we can get caught up in the patterns and it's like, we just kind of got to go through the routine and we feel safe like that. But I feel like everything that was routine to you was ripped away. So understand that there's a lot of life to live, so enjoy it. All right. And try everything.
True. I've got to tell you one thing right quick. I was trying to get on the Zoom beforehand with Isabella Johnson, just thinking, I think they're going to come through together tonight. And I couldn't get on. And I thought, well, I'm still going to Drew's anyway. And there you go. Spirit knows what it's doing. They
Absolutely.
wanted to come through to you.
Well, it's always an honor and a pleasure for me. So thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's see, and it still might be a little bit for you. So, but actually, no, I do have someone else that's coming through. Okay, I got to tell you, I have a
Thank you, girls.
I have a hold on. So do you have something around your neck with something of hers on it, Amy?
No, not around my neck.
Is that around the bracelet?
Yes.
Okay, because I just keep seeing like there's a something meaningful, or that was hers. Okay.
She's right here.
And also that so it's funny. Do you get a kick out of the Housewives?
I used to. I'm not watching that one.
Okay, I just got to tell you because it's funny. Like, I don't know, she keeps talking about it. Like, I need to like reference it. And it's funny. I just say she's giving it to me in a way. So I did a reading for one of the Housewives of Potomac. It'll probably be on, I think, this season. I don't know, but she keeps showing me like, you're no drama mama. That's what she keeps showing me, and just you're good like that, and don't let anybody drag you into their drama.
No drama.
Okay?
I just told someone that tonight.
Yeah.
I'm drama-free zone.
All right. So thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, girl.
So the next person that I have a younger, I almost said man, might be. I feel like I have a younger male, and I need to talk about the name Tommy. And I also feel like, or Timmy, I think it's Tommy. And the thing that I get with this is that I'm taking things that I'm not supposed to take. So I feel like this is an overdose, or I'm taking pills or something. And I just feel like this was a long ride. This wasn't just a mistake. But I got to tell you, the feeling that I get with this, if this helps, is that there might have been question marks about whether or not it was on purpose, but I don't feel like it was. So can someone understand this?
Looks like Sharon is taking, let's see. So taking the Tommy as well as the way of passing. Let's see, Trenton. Okay. Other people are saying it's not the right name. So could you just confirm, Sharon, that this is you, though, that you...
Sharon's son's name is Tommy.
Okay, good. So
Sharon, where are you?
Here I am.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good.
Good.
Tommy's a young man.
I'm sorry?
You said he was a young man.
Yep. And that was your son, Tommy?
Yes.
And do you understand that he would have passed from like unnatural causes, or he was overdosed?
Well, not overdosed, but I mean, I don't want to say too much. So not overdosed, no.
Okay. Can you understand how I would feel that he overdosed? Then it's not for you. I'm sorry.
I mean, he could show drugs, if that's what you're saying.
Right, but I if it's not, this to me is, so do you feel that he committed suicide?
Yes, he did. Okay.
So that's the only way that I could actually make that, because I misinterpreted that. So do you understand the back and forth, the on-off drugs?
Yes.
Okay. So can we get Jackie up here too? She said it's all for me. It's Tyler, not Tommy. I just want, I'm not sure, because maybe I have two, and sometimes this can work fine, where you both can I can work this out where they'll piggyback, but I need to separate it somewhere. So
did you unmute Jackie already?
Yes.
Hi.
Can we add to the spotlight if you go?
Let me find Jackie first.
Yeah, I know there's a lot. So
I need her to speak, though. Let's see. Jackie. Let's see. Jackie, could you say something, please?
Hi.
Okay, got you. Okay, there you are. Okay, and I'm going to go to add. There we go.
Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Good. So, Jackie, you understand what I was saying about that there were question marks whether or not it was on purpose and there were drugs and it was an overdose?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And do you understand that there was definitely pills involved, or that there was pills that's part of the problem for a long time?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Did he also have to go to jail at one point? Jackie, that's for you, Sharon? Okay, so just Jackie, hang on. So there's a sound delay for you, Jackie. So just hang tight for a minute, okay? Actually, so Jackie, I'm going to, why is my mouse like nuts? I'm just going to stop your video, but I can still hear you because it'll help with your, there you go, your audio is much better, okay? So so Sharon, you understand that yes. Part of it? Okay, and so Sharon, did he take his own life with a gun?
Not a gun.
Okay. I don't know why I can't. I'm not sure that it's just for you. I want it to be, but I can't really. So just hang with me for a second. So Jackie, and Sharon, do you understand your son would have had dark hair?
Yes.
Jackie, do you understand that?
Dark hair? No.
Okay. So I must have two, like them crisscross or something. So do either of you, look, if I'm not with the right person, this is how it'll be. It'll kind of go back and forth. So if anyone else understands this, but it can't just be like they have dark hair or there's a T in the name. The first thing I was getting, I'm just going to go back to this, is that, and I would accept the Tyler instead of the Tommy, but I got the name Tommy, younger male, and that I kept getting confusion around the suicide. I thought it was a drug overdose, and that there were question marks around it. And so Sharon, you had said that there was like back and forth about that, or it was in it, but it wasn't how he went.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say too much, but.
So also, was he in his 20s, Sharon?
Yes.
Okay. Like around 25?
22.
Okay, so that's close.
He'd be 25 now.
Right. So I don't know why I keep getting this. So Jackie, let me just try to stay here with Sharon for a minute. Okay. So Sharon, I just want to make sure I got this right, because again, if I'm with the wrong person, I'll get the right information for the wrong person.
Calvin,
so go ahead.
Drew, I just want to tell you that Calvin is saying his son passed of an OD. His brother's middle name is Tom, and his Facebook name is Tommy. Does that sound like no? Okay.
No, this is like, to me, the way that this younger man came, and I do feel like I had two people, and that's why it was confusing.
Okay.
Because I did say like a boy, and then I said, I think it's a man. So it's kind of like, I think I had who was just up here before too, but I just feel a real pull towards Sharon right now.
Okay,
so Sharon, do you also understand that there's alcoholism and addiction within the family? Yes?
There's an addiction in the family?
Yes, it's in the family. It's in the genes in the family. There's alcoholism.
Probably, yes.
Yeah. So, and do you also understand, so do you understand, did you have, and this is going to sound a little bit weird, and I want to make sure that I have this in the right context. Did you have two dads? Like a dad and a stepdad or something?
No, just dad and father-in-law.
Both passed?
No, my dad is.
Okay, and your mom?
No.
Okay, please calm down.
What?
She's sick and.
No, so I'm hearing someone else talk. So Sharon, I'm sorry, I can't, it doesn't seem to be connecting. So do me a favor, tell me your son's, hold on. Tell me your son's middle name.
Lee. Thomas Lee.
Tommy Lee? Really?
Tommy Lee, yes.
Nice. Okay.
That's what he was always supposed to be called.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. So it's funny, as soon as I see that, I see ink, right? So I don't know if he had ink, he must have, but I get like, okay. And either a sleeve or I just get, I also feel like the first real big, holy crap, is this going to be my life, was like around the 18, 19 age. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Or like the consequences became real.
Yes.
And also, do you understand that towards the end, there was an issue with a girl?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not blaming anybody. I just keep getting this tangled, like it's tangled. And
yes.
I get also, so did he have a son?
No.
So you have 2 boys?
No, more than that. He has, would you want me to tell you anything or no?
Yeah, fill me in a little bit because I'm missing something and I just...
Little sister, young sister when he left. She was very young. And then brothers.
All right. So would this have been like 10, 11 years ago?
No.
Okay. Would you understand that if it was months?
No.
Okay. He keeps showing me that number over and over, the 10, 11.
He's showing you 10, 11?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the day, the 11th is when he left us.
Okay, got it. And also that, so so as much as he could be street, he's smart.
Yeah.
Because he keeps giving me this, like, almost like I got it under control, but I really don't. And it's almost like a persona that he had to put on because of just the people he had to be around, right?
Yeah,
and also, do you understand the Ricky name?
Ricky?
Yeah. If not, it's okay. So I can't, Ricky or Nikki?
Nikki.
Yeah. Remember I said this because even when you said no, I got it again. So unless I'm messing it up and it's like, I don't know, I can't really make it anything else. Ricky, Robbie, I don't know. It's okay, don't worry about it. He also just keeps making me feel, I need you to know that you did the best you could and you know this. He keeps making me feel like this has to be on him. And he didn't mean to be a dark spot in the family because he feels like it's just hard to talk about. He makes me feel like it's really hard to talk about. And that, like, I don't know why he keeps showing me the 2 years, but he just keeps showing me that, like, it's like people walk by either his stuff or pictures and they don't know how to handle it. Do you understand this?
Yeah, well, his brother.
Are there like 5?
5.
Yeah. How many kids do you have?
4.
Okay. And do you, like, he was so determined to, like, make mom proud or to do things right. He keeps making me feel like every single time, like when he told you he was going to change, he actually meant it. Do you understand that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because he really legitimately did. However, I just feel like the hooks were in with people, with street, with just friends, with lifestyle. And I just keep feeling like he even had fantasies of moving, of like getting out of here. And I just feel like, so is there like a connection with you guys to Texas?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, his cousin lives there, but.
Did he ever go there in recent years before he passed?
No.
Okay. I don't know why he keeps showing me the state of Texas. So I just feel like he couldn't really get out of this, whatever it was. And it's like, he just keeps making me feel like he made a list, like he was on a list. And it's like, even if he did a little bit, his reputation would precede him or kind of thing. I also feel like So do you understand that he would fight with his dad or with your husband?
Yeah, there was times.
And he just keeps making me feel like he just keeps giving me that, like he didn't know what else to do and he wasn't in his right mind.
Right.
That's how I get it. He wasn't in his right mind. He didn't know what else to do. And it's almost like it's not an excuse. It's an explanation because he keeps giving me like, I was out of my fucking mind. Like all I could see was red and I needed to go. I didn't want to feel the pain anymore. I needed to go. And the way that he gives it to me is like, it was almost beyond a decision that he could logically go yes or no. He just did what he had to do. Do you understand that? And then afterwards, there was the holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, I had bipolar.
And also, I need you to know that he keeps saying, almost like my bad, my mistake, my bad, my mistake. He doesn't want anyone else to own it, especially you, because you were always there for him. And I don't know why. So, do you understand why he keeps showing me January? There's got to be a birthday, an anniversary, or a passing. Just remember I said that. He just keeps showing me that first month of the year. And I know if he did this or not. So could he draw?
Oh, yeah. Great.
Right? Yeah. So there's like this hidden talent. He keeps making me feel like, this might not make sense, but did he draw motorcycles?
Not like a lot, but I'm sure there's one in his drawing.
I don't know why. I just kept getting a pair of handlebars with pencil. And it just gets really quiet. He kind of jokes about the name Tommy Lee. Like, who was I supposed to be? If I'm not in Motley Crue, like, who am I supposed to be, right?
Well, his name's he's named after people.
No, I'm sure, but he's not saying it literally. Like he's just trying to. I feel like he's just trying to lighten it up, but I do feel like he was a good-looking kid. Do you understand this? Because he makes me feel like there were certain times where he felt like he could just be himself, but he just keeps making me feel like there were opportunities that he just kept missing. And he just wants you to know that he'll never stop loving everybody. He just didn't know how to do it here. He just couldn't get it right. And he just keeps making me feel like he didn't want to be a burden.
That's his word.
You understand that? And do you also understand the name Jack?
Jack, yeah.
Yeah.
Good friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Melanie? Do you understand this? Melanie or Melody?
Melody?
Yeah, remember I said that, okay?
Yeah.
It's not a name I normally get.
Right.
So let me ask you this before I wrap this up. Do you understand that there was a very particular female that he stayed in touch with since he was like 12 or 13, back and forth? Do you understand this?
Yeah.
Okay, and not family, but like it was kind of like his love in a way. Do you understand this?
Love. Probably a close friend. I mean, maybe he loved her.
Because I just keep feeling like there's this like role or version of life in his mind with like how things could have been if he could just do things normally. But he just makes me feel like he always had to do it differently and he had to do it his way. And it got him into trouble. And then once it started, it's like it got worse instead of better. And it's like, it was a lifestyle. I just keep getting that. I also, did he always wear black sunglasses?
Like
I just keep getting sunglasses. I don't know why. It's almost like I need to kind of look cool or incognito. I keep getting
them with that. Yeah. And then it was like his, yeah.
And do you understand that what he keeps showing me is kind of short around the sides, but kind of spiky on the top?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He just needs you to know it's him. And he just wants you to remember him for the boy that he was. And he's sorry he couldn't be the man that everyone needed him to be, but he's working real hard on the other side to do what he can for everyone else, okay? And I also feel like he's really good with kids. I don't know. That's how I feel. And it's like he just keeps showing me that he gets to be productive, useful, and of service over there. And he just doesn't want you to dwell on it so much. This was part of your experience for this life, is what he keeps giving me. So if you don't understand the Ricky, you don't understand the rich or Richie?
Rich or Richie?
Yeah, so it's like the third time I got it. Okay. So I just need to tell you, Sharon, that he just really wanted to come through. And I know there were a couple people probably trying to come through with him. I'm sorry, I kind of jacked it up a little bit, but I will tell you that he's never not looking after everyone. And he just keeps making me feel like he just wants you to know that how the support that you gave him, the trust that you gave him, the love that you gave him meant everything to him. And he couldn't have asked for any more. And he doesn't want you to feel responsible for anything that's his. Okay. And just go easy on yourself. I just keep feeling like you're very good, like him, at saying everything's good, but it's not. Okay. So I really need you to just kind of, one of the things I learned after, cleaning up and just about guys and just about the people is that the strongest, the people that I want to emulate are the ones that are willing to be vulnerable, even when they're raw. And in that is where I find strength. Because a lot of us will shut down and then we harden and everything's good. And we don't even realize that we're not happy. He does not want you to not be happy. He just wants you to be happy. Okay. And he doesn't want to be a burden anymore. So please let him not be. And if you want him to be happy, be happy. Okay.
Thank you,
I'll let you go with that. Yeah. Thank you. I think I have one more. I know I saw a lot of comments coming in there where people think it was for them or whatever, that kind of thing. It was a little bit of a loose connection, but I still think that it was meant for her. So sometimes I remember early on, I would do these groups and I would get a child and I'd have like 50 or 60 people in these in-person groups at a hotel or something. And for some reason, I didn't want to get it wrong so bad that every time they'd be like, oh, well, I get the name, how they passed, like age. And they're like, oh, that's my son. And all of a sudden I'd freeze. And I'd be like, and then I would have like bits and pieces for 4 people because I was so afraid that I was going to get it wrong that then I started getting it wrong. So sometimes I just have to kind of let them just go. I got to tell you, I know I said to her this name before, but okay, so this is I want to say that I have a male here and I know that this is a tough person. And I mean strong, but also that there's a name here that keeps coming and it's like Jack or Jackie. And it's not Jackie, a female. This is a male. And so, but it's almost like there's like 2 Johns. So one was called Jackie, or there's 2 Jacks and one was called Jackie and one was called John. I just keep getting this. And I get, I almost want to say like city or New York City vibes. And I just keep getting, I don't want to get too detailed. I keep getting this, it's like Irish or German connection, maybe even Irish and Italian, but I just keep getting this connection. Does someone understand that? And this is like, I would feel that Jack or Jackie would have maybe passed in their 50s. So it feels like a man to me. I don't know that it's somebody's son, maybe, but this might be like, I don't know if it's somebody's brother or somebody's dad, but I just keep getting this male presence keeps kind of come through. And like, you know, the thing that he keeps giving me is like, almost like black leather jacket. But I know that it's like Jack. If you knew him, you could call him Jackie. Does anyone understand this?
Jennifer is saying that her dad is Jack, and Felicity is her daughter, who's 5, and she's Irish.
All right, can I try that? And also, if you're still listening too, is that, so Felicity, where are you?
Okay, we're going to get Felicity to be unmuted. Let's see. Going down here very quickly. Oh, you must have already done it, Irene, because she's not here. Felicity, are you unmuted? Could you say hi? Did you get her already, Irene?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, this is weird. How is she down here and not? Oh no, not Felicity. I'm sorry. That's her daughter. Excuse me. That's my fault. It's Jennifer. Jennifer's iPhone is what we're looking for.
And also Maggie K, can you understand this?
Okay.
Some of it. I did put in there that my son is in heaven with his grandpa Jack and his uncle John. And John passed in his late 40s.
Was there 2 Johns and that's why they call one a Jack, or were there 2 Jacks and 2 Johns or something?
2 Johns, grandpa's Jack, and my son's middle name is John.
Is your son Michael?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm with you, because even when I'm looking at you, I need to come to you. Okay, so I'm sorry whoever was trying to come on, but I just saw you somewhere. I have these big screens, so can you just let them, I can't find you now. I want to just spotlight you.
Here, I can spotlight her if you can't find her. There we go.
Hey, Maggie. It's so funny. So I can hear him very clearly. I just get like, hi, Mom. So do you understand? Just want to make sure I got this right, okay? Was your son like 17 or younger?
Older, but he always appeared younger.
That's okay. I'm okay if I get it a little bit wrong. Usually there's a reason they're trying to show me something. He keeps giving me this. So do you understand Cody?
No.
So you understand that you have at least two dogs on the other side?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is one with a name that's similar to Cody or something? Or there's like a Kobe? Just remember I said that because the way that it's coming to me, my first inclination was that he was trying to like give a shout out, I'm here with Cody, but then I'm aware of these dogs. So sometimes, a lot of times, I've had people literally forget their husband's names while we're doing this because we get so caught up in like that, you know, it happens like people, and the sister be like, your husband's Jack. Like, oh yeah. So
we had a number of dogs for a period of Michael's life that I couldn't remember all their names, to be honest.
He still keeps showing me the 7th or the 17th. I don't know if it's a date or a month.
He was born on the 7th. He was born on the 7th.
Thank you. And do you also understand he was born on a Sunday?
He passed on a Sunday.
Perfect. Okay. Because he just kept showing me that after you said the 7th. Amy, you know he's here. And that also you understand the William on the other side?
No, William's his younger brother who's here.
Oh, he's here. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. He keeps making me feel like I'm with William. How old's William?
Just turned 23.
Okay. So do you understand that Michael would have showed him how to drive stick?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. because he's like really proud of this. Like, he knows how to drive stick. I show him how to drive stick. And so was there a night or a day? He keeps showing me like, this is just like innocent mischief. Mischief. He keeps showing me that, I don't know what your religion is, but you celebrate Christmas, correct?
Yes.
So do you understand that he was supposed to bring his brother to church or something, like on a Christmas Eve or something like that, and him and his brother skipped out? And like, this is like, I don't know why he keeps showing me this, but it's like, there were certain things that he either introduced his brother to that weren't the best. But he keeps showing me this, almost like they went and like played video games or something separately. Do you understand this? And if not, it's okay, but.
I don't. I mean, it's a very possible scenario.
So just remember I said that, because even the version of it that I'm getting is, I taught my little brother how to drive stick. And that night we decided not to go to church.
We would call it stick.
Isn't that funny? Right. So he's using my data bank trying to get this clear, because it would be a lot to say otherwise. And I get it. So I don't know why I keep showing me this. So do you understand why? So was your dad tall?
Taller than him.
Okay. He keeps showing me like, and this is going to sound a little bit morbid, but it's not meant to be. Do you understand why he keeps showing me like a dug hole in the ground? Like the way that it's coming is like, I don't have a reference or a context for it. And it's not like about necessarily graves. He just keeps making me feel either he dug his own hole in the ground, or he just keeps showing me this hole in the ground. It's almost like either maybe someone did that for a period of time. I don't understand it. Do you?
I mean, he's in a grave next to his Grandpa Jack. But I don't understand a hole, unless it's.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I try so hard to not make it what it's not. I just don't know what to make this one. But I do know that he just keeps trying to give me stories through impressions.
Michael was a huge storyteller.
Okay, fine, perfect. And there's, I don't know why. I don't know if he's the 9/11. He keeps showing me two pillars. So it's almost like you would see in the front porch. Round pillars, but I don't really know what to, like, it's weird when people give me these like very vivid visuals, because I'm almost like hoping that you get it. So let me just sit with him for a second. Also, so did you have a problem with mice in your house?
Yes, we did at one point.
Okay, he just keeps showing me mouse traps or like these things, and it's just their way of showing us the little things. And he hears you all the time. And also there must be something that you wear around your neck sometimes. Do you understand this? And it's almost like, I don't know if it's a charm or whatever, but there's a piece of him on you. Do you understand this?
I wear his necklace often. Perfect. That I bought for him.
He loves that. He doesn't know what he would do without you. Aww. He doesn't know what he would do without you. And do you understand that he could make it seem like he did all the right things, but he didn't?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Because like, he won't give me the whole story. He's giving me all these like, yeah, well, look at this distraction over here. Like, he won't give me like the how, the why. And I only ask, or I only kind of lean that way if it's available. But so, and just, I'm okay if I'm wrong on this, okay? I did this all day today, and I just want to make sure that if I can do this, I want to make sure that I can do it with detail. Do you understand that this is, did 2 people pass in the last 5 years? These 2?
Grandpa Jack passed 6 months before Michael.
Okay. So was it 2 years ago? Why does he keep showing me the 2 to 5? If you don't know, just say you don't know. It's okay. Give me this. Also, so he used to like to cook. Do you understand
He wanted
this?
to cook. He wanted to.
Do you understand, like, I don't know why he's showing me this. This is such, it seems odd, but I love it because odd is always good. He keeps showing me, like, you know, like I do this. I will go to, like, I'll be putting something on a frying pan and I'll just cut it and I'll scrape the crap out of a pan. So it's almost like you either just got new pans, but he keeps showing me, like, that there's current stuff that needs to be updated. And it's like won't give me the exact. And do you understand that there's certain things in your house that are exactly the same from him?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why he has to go a long way.
That's the way Michael is. He tells a very long.
Isn't that cool though? I love that because to me, that shows me that that's really them, right? Because there are some people that come through, like, they got 2 words. I remember one guy come through and I just kept going. I kept going. And I remember looking at him like, your dad passed, yeah, you cancer, goatee, yep. Really thick guy, yep. And it took me like 2 minutes. And finally I said, you understand, he just didn't talk a lot. Like, he never talked. I was like, thank you. So sometimes what they don't say is what they're saying. And you have 2 children still living?
I do, yes.
So first I got boy, girl, then I got 2 girls. Is it a boy and a girl? You can tell me it's 2 boys. Damn it.
It's 2 boys.
Okay, I'm getting tired. And you just had to get, like, your prescription updated for your glasses?
No.
He keeps showing me this over and over. Like, do you have his glasses? I don't know if you even wore them. He keeps giving me this big thing about prescriptions.
My husband just left to pick up a prescription.
Is it Walgreens?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why he showed me Walgreens instead of CVS. And is it you or your husband into, like, the classic rock?
My husband, yeah.
Because I got to tell you, you feel like he's sitting next to him listening to, like, a 104.3 kind of station. I don't know if they have that by you. I keep getting, and then he's showing me, like, Jethro Tull. But he's showing me, hold on. And do you understand that? And I don't mean to get too personal. Do you understand that there was a baby that didn't make it? Like, it could have been an early miscarry, but I need to acknowledge this.
Yeah.
Possibly,
yes.
possibly 2,
yes,
but definitely 1.
There were 2 miscarriages.
Yeah. He just keeps making me feel like he's around everybody, including the little souls. That's what he's giving me.
That was kind of Michael's thing, to be around everyone and bring everyone together.
So I understand his name is Michael. Do you understand why he's telling me about the name Michelle?
His cousins teasingly called him that.
Michelle, perfect. He just wants to keep it light. Just wants to keep it light. And you understand that you feel like you didn't get to say goodbye?
Yes.
He just needs you to know that there was nothing left unsaid. There's nothing left unsaid, even if you feel like you want to. Everything is as it should be, and that you don't owe him anything. There's nothing that he doesn't know. Okay? And that, accept this, because that lingering notion that you missed something or couldn't say goodbye, he needs you to know he heard, saw, and feels it all. And especially that night, as I keep saying. And he just doesn't want you to have any more sleepless nights. And don't make the other kids, like I said, almost like, you know, as naturally as a parent, if we lose a child, it's like everything else is magnified. Like nobody can have anything bad happen. And he just keeps making me feel like everyone's going to be okay. Everyone's going to be okay. And that you just need to let people live and let them live. And he won't give me how he passed. And I don't want you to tell me. He just won't go there, which is fine. I will say, he just needs you to know, no matter how far away you think he is, he's not. And that it has to be, he keeps showing me like, that the natural route for him, it's like, as you get better, they have to give you room to get even better. And then they circle back and they can speak to you differently or in different ways with different symbols. Does that make sense? Because sometimes in the very beginning, we're so emotional, we can't feel them. Or you'll be like, why the hell does my aunt feel them, but I can't, or whatever. Or why do they have in dreams, right? And I just feel like he just keeps making me aware, like he's just timing it all. He's not going to other people. He's not avoiding you. He's just doing it so that you can get better, so that when he connects with you, it's more helpful and it's more positive and it's more healing. Okay. One more thing. So is there somebody named Jamie or Jaime?
I don't think so.
Remember I said this? It feels like a man. It feels like a boy's name. And Chris?
No.
All right, I might be moving on. I'm going to try to do one more if I can before I lose my mind as a little scrambled egg. So Maggie, I just need you to know that it's almost like he's taking care of Dad. I don't know why, but that's how I feel. I just feel like it's like two peas in a pod in a way. And I just feel like you don't need to worry about him. He grew up fast. He grew up fast over there. Hold on. So he had a pierced ear, right?
Yes.
And you have a stud?
I do. I don't know.
Okay. He just keeps showing me it's like a fake stud, but he just keeps showing me. And did he used to pop it through with an eraser? You know what I'm talking about? So it's almost like I feel like I had a bunch of earrings at one point, and he just keeps making me feel like I was like a grown-up kid. That's what he keeps making me feel. Does that make sense? And I just need you to know that he just loves you. You haven't. Hold on. Would he have passed also around Christmas?
His grandpa did.
Okay. I just keep hearing Christmas carols, and they're showing me like everyone concerned. So I just need you to know that he's just trying to show that everyone's okay and everyone's together. And that like, it's not his show tonight. It's not his show. Okay. And again, they never go away. They never go away. He will come back. If you take the right steps, it'll make it easier, but just know that it has to change the way that they connect. So also, is he really into cars?
Yeah.
Okay. He just keeps showing me. I keep feeling like escalation of cars. And he keeps showing me that freaking Vin Diesel movie, The Fast and the Furious. I also, so is he also the skier or snowboarder?
He did snowboard, yeah.
Okay. He just showed me, I mean, I almost feel like it's like he's showing me highlights, half of mine, half his. He just needs you to know he gets to do everything that he wants to do. But there's such a love here that he just doesn't want you to feel like he's not with you. He's always with you, okay? Also, Did somebody get a tattoo of his name on the wrist?
I don't know.
Okay, that's my prediction. I just keep seeing like classy, but like script with either his initials and date of birth to passing or something like that. I feel like it's you, but I don't know. I know it's a female. I just keep getting that.
Huh. His cousin may have. I don't know. I have to ask her.
And are you the one? I don't know why you would think this. Did you think that the Blue Jays are more indicative of spirit than the Cardinals? Do you understand this? If not, say no, because this is for someone.
No.
Okay.
No.
So I do need to move on. Someone else is kind of tugging at me. But Maggie, thank you. Okay.
Love you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you very much. And I'm sorry for all of you, for everything, for everybody. It's got to be difficult. But I just know that they're okay. Otherwise, and what I'll say too is mediumship to me, if there's life after life, which there is, even though I do this, I still wake up and go, is this real? So that built-in forgetter, just like, is always going to be there. But I'll just say that if there's life after life, which there is, then the life that we're living has purpose and has meaning. Sometimes our purpose is to find purpose or redefine our purpose. All right. I have somebody else here and I need to talk about this as I feel like I can do one more. So can you guys bear with me? I might be able to do two, but I don't know. Let me see. And I got to tell you, this group's been really good because I can feel the energy still. Usually after people get like 3, they're like, all right, I got stuff to do. Maybe I'm gonna order pizza. Right? Or if somebody gets red first and they're like, all right, I gotta go. Okay, so I gotta tell you, I have somebody here who keeps making there's 2 people in spirit. I need to talk about, I feel like I gotta talk about this, Chris. I feel like Chris. And I just also feel like so this would have been somebody would have been in their 30s, maybe. Like, it's not a kid, but I just got to talk about this like young man, Chris, like 32 to 38. I just keep getting this.
Suzanne's son, Chris, is 35. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay, let's get Suzanne on here.
I've asked her to unmute.
Okay,
Hi,
good.
Suzanne.
Elizabeth, am I going too long?
No, you're okay. This is
you sure?
So, and boy, oh boy, Suzanne is definitely deserving. So let's do this. This is wonderful.
So where'd you go? Who did I have?
I'm right here.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
So Chris, your son, correct?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Was this between 1 and 3 years ago or more?
More.
I keep showing me that 1-3. So so do you understand why he'd be taking accountability for this?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry I'm looking down. I just want to write these things out so I don't have to be like, what did I say? Because at this point in the night, that's what it's like right now. He just keeps making it like he thought he could change his ways, or you like. Do you also understand that there's somebody else that either he knew or you knew that would have passed in the military? Yeah, like either in combat or like after they got back.
His grandfather was in the military, but did not pass in the military.
But he was in combat?
No, no. No,
Okay.
I don't know of anybody.
That's okay. That's okay. So were there two boys, or does he have two brothers?
Two brothers.
Okay. I know I just said the name Jack before. Is one of them like a John or a Jack?
Middle name of my older son is John, and Chris's grandfather is John with
Okay.
him, likely.
I just get, I don't know why I get this. Do you understand that Chris, I don't want to say this wrong or have it come off judgy. So I get exaggerated impressions so that I don't miss something. So he keeps showing me like he likes to look good. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, good. That was a big yes. So that really works for me because he just keeps making me feel like, well, I got to put this on, I got to have this. And like, kind of like, you know, like if I'm going to go, I don't want to be wearing this. Like it's in a funny way, but also like, this is how he was. There's a meticulousness with the way that he dressed, looked, hair, jacket. I just keep getting that. And he had a good eye for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also, so is he the one with green eyes?
You know, it's terrible. Everybody knows a kid's color's eyes.
Okay, that's the least common. So just remember I said that. But when I get eyes, they're usually the person I'm connecting with. But I just kept seeing a set of eyes next to you that are green. I can't even see your eyes through the reflection. But I will say that also, was he fascinated with G.I. Joe when he was little? You know, the little figures? Say no. Okay.
No, not that.
And he played the guitar?
No.
That's weird. Hold on. I don't know why I keep getting this. So do you understand why he would keep showing me Bruce Springsteen?
Maybe.
So I don't know if it says he liked the music or if he's trying to show me Jersey or what this is, but he just keeps, he loved it? Okay.
Yeah, yes, big deal.
Because Bruce is like a songwriter, musician, like guy, you know? Also, do you understand with Chris that he could pretty much talk his way out of anything?
Yes.
Because he's like really very articulate, but like eloquent. Like he could speak anyone's language is how he's making me feel.
Definitely.
And he could just kind of vibe with people and get people to resonate with him. I gotta tell you, he's very sensitive.
Yes.
Really sensitive and almost like to the point where it overwhelmed him. Right? And yes. I just feel like there's also a little bit of manic behavior. Do you understand that? Yes. And it doesn't have to be dramatic, but I do feel like there's urgency. And I also just feel like this was kind of normal to him, but I do feel like heightened anxiety as I'm getting older.
Yes.
Understand that?
Yes.
And it's almost like what used to not faze him, I just hesitant with people. And I just feel like, so I gotta ask you, did he like overdose? Say no if it's no.
Not sure.
Okay, do you understand that he took like prescription medications though?
At one time, yes.
Like Xanax or some sort of antidepressant. So I just keep getting this, and like Ritalin.
No.
So he just keeps showing me prescriptions. And like, you know, it doesn't feel like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's like a doctor gave him these because he was sick. It could be. But I just keep getting this. And I don't know if I said this to you before. Do you understand the name, like Matthew or Mateo or Matthias? Do you understand this? It's not a name that I would get normally.
A couple of those I can take, but they're far removed from him.
How are they connected to you though? Because it's a very unusual name for me to get there.
Matthew would be his cousin, and Mateo was the painter that scammed me in Florida.
Okay.
You know,
I don't know that I've ever gotten Mateo before.
No, I was
okay.
I got it. The guy was terrible to me though, so maybe he saw it.
Absolutely. And I don't know why he keeps showing me. Do you understand the bandage that either you had around your arm or that he had? Do you understand this?
On the arm? Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Understand this. And like, he just keeps making me feel like all you wanted him to do was succeed.
Yes.
And he just keeps making me feel like, and don't take this the wrong way, he just keeps making me feel like he just kept feeling like he kept letting people down or let you down. Right. And I'm just saying, look, it's not how he feels, but this is how he felt. This is how he felt. Okay. Because he just keeps making me feel like I feel more distant, and disconnected, more disconnected, even though there's availability for everyone, but I still feel like something changed in his life and he didn't know how to handle it.
Yes.
You understand that? Okay. It's almost like, what the, yeah. And it just literally whatever light was left, it just dimmed. And like the anger feels visceral to me and like it's inward pointed. Like just this frustration. Yes. And it was almost like an unwillingness to try to work it out or talk it out. He just was like almost in a way done. I just feel like that. And he just makes me feel like it wasn't like he sat down and logically thought about consequences or, what he was going to do. It was like, almost the feeling I get is almost like angry with God, angry with the universe, angry with like, how could this not be or be? And I also feel like, so do you have twins?
No.
So are there twins in the family?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know.
So I know your name's Suzanne. Do you understand why he keeps bringing up the like Catherine name?
Oh gosh.
Hey, listen, you don't have to figure it out. If it's like Karen, Catherine. No?
Kathleen?
Kathleen is close to Catherine. Who's that?
That's a cousin, but my mother speaks of her in spirit.
No. This is what I'm getting is different. I just keep getting that.
I'm drawing a blank. It's like,
yeah, that's okay. So do you also understand that he was either he went to therapy for a long time or he was in and out?
Some. I
Okay.
think Catherine, could it be Cat?
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Like you mean like a pet cat?
No. K.
The name.
The name K-A-T.
Who is that? That would be connected to him.
That was a former girlfriend.
Yeah. That felt much more like that than anything.
Yes. I think her name was Katerina.
So was she Casey?
Was she what?
She keeps showing me initials like KC.
God, I can't remember.
That's okay. Listen, don't worry about it. Because my brain's fried. It is like I'm trying to like put together these. It's almost like I'm seeing things backwards. I just
know what her initials are, Casey. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're not being nice to me, right?
No. It's
okay.
Or something.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I had to
good.
think about
nope. That's great. That's awesome. Because they're usually persistent for me because they know I'll sit on something. And I don't know why. So do you understand? Do you have two recent grandkids?
Yeah, I can go with that.
Okay. Do you understand like the ages like roughly 4 or 5?
No.
So do you understand the book Charlotte's Web? Why you keep showing me that?
No, but I'm not familiar with that book. I'm ashamed to say.
So remember, it's okay. Just remember I said that, because sometimes the best evidence is stuff that'll happen after. Okay. It's a really, it's about like a pig and a spider and blah, blah. Charlotte's Web. He just keeps showing me that. I wasn't sure if he's trying to get me to the name Charlotte, but he keeps showing me the picture of the kids' books, and that he needs you to know that he sees everyone in the family and everybody coming around. And I just keep feeling like, I don't know why. It's like he just doesn't want to be remembered in a negative light.
Yeah, no one does.
Okay? And I feel like, so did you also have missing jewelry?
Yes.
I'm not saying it's him.
No,
I'm just saying.
It wasn't him. I know.
Okay. Okay. So the way that I'm getting things is like, he just needs you to know that he's definitely connected and around you. And I know you've had your conversations with him, and you also write to him. Is that true?
Speak to him more. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know if that's my noise or what. Did you say speak to him?
Sing or speak.
Oh, okay. I just keep seeing a letter written and a burned. So
really?
Think about that. Yeah, it's a really, really cathartic thing. Ooh. Right? To write a letter of the things you want to say and then burn it, and trust that when it goes into the air, it's like kind of into spirit, if you will. All right. But I feel like the process of writing for you will be an emotional release, and there's no rules.
Okay.
It's just, and it's not like the final goodbye either. It's just like, let me let go of the little bit of grief that I still have.
Okay.
All right. Because letting go of the grief does not let go of the love. And he just keeps bringing that in here. Like there's just like these, like residue still. And he just wants you to be able to flush it out. Okay. So I just feel like the writing will help. Okay. I got to ask you one other thing too. Did you start meditating?
I try.
Okay. But are you into chakras? Why do I keep seeing chakras around you? Yoga? No. You would have said yes.
Right.
Okay.
Everyone knows the chakras, but I try.
No, not everybody knows chakras, believe me. I got one more thing. This might not be for you. Do you understand the name Kurt?
Kurt?
Like Curtis or Kurt. No, just say no. I don't want you to stress about it.
No.
Okay. That's okay. So I'm going to leave you with that, because I feel like I can't represent them anymore, because I'm like getting fuzzy. So I just need you to know that he really wanted to come through. I mean, by giving his name and letting you know that he's still good looking and like sharp and a charmer, and also that so do you have his jacket?
Yes.
Okay. So he just keeps making me feel like he just needs you to know that he's really, really close to you all the time. Oh. And it's like electricity. You can plug in anywhere and get the same current. They can be multiple places at multiple times. Okay.
Yeah, I feel them all the time.
Are you vegetarian?
Am I what? Sagittarian?
Vegetarian.
Vegetarian. No.
Okay. I don't know why he keeps showing me like celery juice.
Celery juice? Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't make it a big thing. All right. Maybe it's a message for me. I don't know. But so listen. So Suzanne, I'm sorry for your loss. I just need you to know that he's really trying here, and I'm the one who's kind of fried. So,
thank you. Well, you've been doing this a while. Thank you so much for stretching yourself. It was nice to hear from him. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So everybody, I just really appreciate you guys having me, and I really do. And I think that for me, again, it's always an honor and privilege to do this. And I always plan on coming on. I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna do 1 hour. And then I do this, and like I do a show on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time called Press Pause, where I kind of just just riff about spirituality and experiences, and sometimes do readings and stuff. And you can see it on Facebook, and my website is drewcali.com. And there's a couple spots left for the Butterfly series, which is a 21-week series coming up. Starts Tuesday, July 13th. It's 21 weeks because I wanted to slowly integrate into people's lives on how to tune into the empath, intuitive, the psychic self, and in a very practical way. So we practice with people, we have fun with people. It's a very safe environment. I have people that are pediatricians to cops to people, to everyone, teachers, whatever. So it's just a really cool space, really good bonds. But I'm so grateful to this organization, and everywhere that I get the opportunity, I talk about helping parents heal and helping fathers heal, because it's just, I just feel really blessed to be able to do this with you. So thank you.
Drew, you're amazing. And I just hope that all of you who are still on right now understand that all of our kids are here, not just the ones that came through in the reading. As a matter of fact, there was so much piggybacking going on. It was really fun to read the text box and see all of these different things that were happening. People were identifying with so much that you were saying. And it is such an honor for us to have you come and speak to us. And we truly appreciate it. I was just typing in the different things that you're talking about. So there are a few spaces left in your butterfly series, which sounds wonderful. And you have a show on Thursdays called Press Pause, which I have not watched yet, but I'd love to. So is that a podcast, or how do people access it? Do they go to drewcali.com to find out about it?
It's on Facebook, I believe, Elizabeth. There he is.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. It's I am Drew Cali. It's just without A. It's I am Drew Cali. And we just do it right now. We're just doing it via Facebook, and we're about to do it through like a podcast and like on YouTube or something too, but it'll be like kind of streamlined through all of them or something like that. I don't know. But all I do is I kind of come on, and anybody can connect. You can kind of just, if you like and follow it on Facebook, you can tune in, you could ask questions, or, and it's cool because people, sometimes a lot of my students are on there too, but we'll have a couple hundred people on there asking good questions, or, and of course you get people that are, maybe not rap so well, right? And they kind of ask certain questions, and actually it's healthy for me because I like to hear, no matter how many times I explain something, the next day someone else will come up and ask me the same question. So like, I have to get better at how I behave and how I react to these things. And it also keeps my finger on the pulse of what's important to people. And not everybody on that has had a loss like that would be a part of this organization. But there's a lot. And I just always like to kind of be able to put stuff out there in an open format, because when I started doing this, I asked people to mentor me. Like nobody did. Everyone was like, unless you're going to be a spiritualist, or unless you're going to do this, or, like it was always unless. It was always conditional. So I just want to be able to have an open format for people that genuinely have the interest or good questions. So that's what it's for. And then readings happen.
That's wonderful. And not only that, but it's true that people love asking you questions because you're always so reassuring when you answer them. And
thank you. Oh, can I say one more thing? Yeah. So on my website, drewcali.com, there's a free download for a meditation, and it's a pretty good one. I thought I did it like in 2013 in England, where we just one shot recorded this. It's beautiful. It's called The Pearl Within. So if you go to drewcali.com and you subscribe to the newsletter, and then there's a free email thing. If you subscribe to the newsletter, we do discounts, priority lists, giveaways, stuff like that. I don't bombard people with a bunch of advertisements, but that free meditation seems to really work for people for healing. That's all I wanted to say.
So it's called The Pearl Within. Okay, we'll get that up there as well. Thank you so much, Drew.
Yes,
this has been wonderful.
Drew.
And I know that you're exhausted, just got back from a vacation, but you've done all of this for us. Thank you. And we always unmute everyone and let everybody say thank you and goodbye as well. Please, for everyone who's gotten a reading tonight, please be sure to send me the write-up with maybe pictures of your children for the newsletter. It's always so wonderful for other parents to read about that, and to thank Drew that way too. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew.
Good night.
Thank
you.
Thanks, Drew.
Everybody.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone.
This was wonderful.
Thank you.